Pancho knows. The subject is copyrights. You know, a lot of artists are very, very confused about copyrights and what they represent. I can tell you that of the thousands of pieces that I have ever created, all of them are not copyrighted. And it's probably impossible for you to even consider copywriting everything of yours. What I will say is that if you have pieces that are going into publication in magazines, books, and other things, or you need to really file a copyright application for that piece, just go to the U.S. copyright website. It's very, very simple to do nowadays. It used to be difficult, had to drop things in the mail and slides in the mail. Now everything's done online. If you got like a catalog and you can copyright the catalog, it might have 12 pieces in it versus you trying to do them individually. Like in my instance, I just did my 40th year anniversary book, so I can take that whole book, copyright it, and it'll cover all the pieces in the book. So you got to find creative ways to protect yourself against someone using them. Now, let's talk about the website. Online, people can have access to your works. You see it happening in social network, and people can copy and paste and use and reuse your stuff for profile pictures. That's not legal, and it is a copyright infringement. But I can tell you that trying to police copyrights is like another whole business. There are attorneys that deal with that. I have had all types of copyright disputes over the last 4 decades. Some of them work in your favor, some of them don't. But unless you have it registered, you can't even go into court, or you can't even go into arbitration. And they're going to look at who has the biggest burden of proof of usage. So if you did something and somebody else did something and y'all go to court, they're going to say, well, pull out your paperwork. They're going to look at sketches. They're going to look at any prerequisites you have to prove that that piece belonged to you, and they're going to go by the date. So some of y'all are not dating your artwork. Some of y'all are not dating your sketches. Some of that's going to come into play. Because sometimes you got to pretend like you're going into court to realize what your circumstances are. They're not just go, woe with me, she copied him. No, they're going to go by the law, and they're going to go by everything but your emotions. So take the time, look at your pieces, look at how they're being circulated, make an informed decision, begin to start doing one. At least take your favorite piece, that one piece you didn't know was going to be favorite, and copyright it. I have probably 100 copyrights out of the thousands of pieces that I've created, and oftentimes my new originals do not get copyright applications. Now, your rights. You have rights to that piece for your lifetime and 50 years after you're gone, which means your family will inherit your rights when you're gone, okay? That's without a copyright application, okay? But you still have to prove, and there's a burden of proof. There's all kinds of levels to this, but unless you're aware of your rights, some of y'all are doing commissions and signing your rights over to the person and giving them the right. In my whole career, I have never assigned my copyright to anyone for the hundreds and hundreds of pieces that have been licensed or otherwise. I always maintain my copyright. If you want to buy my piece and own my image, you're going to have to pay for it. And most people are not in a position to do that and only want reproduction rights anyway. We're living in a world now where there's a lot of bootlegging going on, and the copyright conversations become more and more apparent as the online laws catch up with real life. But know that you have rights that are extended to you when you finish signing that piece and when you finish dating that piece. The more you document that piece, the more you can show your true ownership. And in a world of copycat killers and a whole bunch of other folks that's copying other people's work, this conversation becomes even more serious. If you want to protect your name, your brand, there's copyrights, trademarks, and other things you can do to protect your image. We'll talk about some of that in future episodes. But copyrights, y'all, very, very important. And if you've never filed one, take the time and do one so you can see what it's all about. It's nothing like having that certificate in your hand or in your email box to know that you're secured for your lifetime and 50 years after that. Pancho knows. Peace.